And what's up, guys? We are live for UFC Sao Paulo, Eric Anders versus Thiago Santos, and we have a pretty good card on this Saturday in Brazil, and it's on Fox Sports 1, I believe, and I like it, man. It's top to bottom a very good card. And before we talk about this card, we got to recap, real quick, the Russia card, the UFC Moscow, and the main event was Mark Hunt versus Zaleski Olenek, and yeah, man, Zaleski went out there and tapped him out in the first round. I picked Mark Hunt. I was wrong there, and I'm glad I didn't, bet that fight. Um, Bets wise, I was 1-3. I won on Jan Blachowicz. He looked good out there, man. I mean, he got taken down in the first round, then went out there and took him down, Krylov, and then got the brutal submission in the second round. It was a pretty nice submission. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, man, Jan's on a 4-fight win streak, man. He's no slouch. I really think that he's going to be a top 5 guy in the division, and I'm really curious to see who he fights next. I think he'll probably, get matched up with either the winner of Volkan versus Smith, maybe Ratchet after he beats Devin Clark. We'll see what happens. I lost on Tyrion Ware and Des Green, two big underdogs. Where Torres sold him the first round didn't really matter because he just got taken down at will. And with Des Green, yeah, he fought a pretty good fight, man. I mean, it was a close fight. I did give it to Tyson, but I mean, Green outstruck him, but Tyson was definitely landing the bigger punches. And that's about that. I mean, Jordan Johnson went out there and got a pretty good dominant win, but wasn't the best card. I think I went 9-3 picks wise, but yeah, it was like a minus 2.62 on the night. So yeah, man, just looking forward to the Saturday. And before we talk about this really good card on Saturday, I got some announcements for the channel I got to talk about real quick. I'll be having a new co-host for my channel starting, I believe, the card after the McGregor card. So I think it's the Canada card. We got Volkan I just talked about against Anthony Smith. And I'll have MMA Kelton joining me on my channel. Ricky will always have a place, but he's busy and he's not doing it anymore. So Kelton will be my new co-host, and I'll also be joining Kelton on his new podcast on his channel called The Fight Companion. And yeah, that one's going to be more of a recap, of every show. But I'll be, doing videos twice a week. I'll be doing his channel, which will be more about recaps every card, and then my channel, I'll be having him on, and we'll be, doing our predictions and bets every card. So I'll be doing it twice a week. I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm also going to be having Notorious Picks, that Russian jobber, on my show. I believe it's UFC 229. Just kidding. He's a pretty cool guy. But yeah, man, we're going to be talking about McGregor versus Khabib, all the good fights on there, Tony versus Pettis. And yeah, man. So without further ado, sorry about the rambling there. Let's talk about the first fight of the night. And yeah, man, it's a pretty good fight. We got in the women's strawweight division, we got Livia Souza versus Alex Chambers, and Souza's making a UFC debut. She has a really good record. She, already lost against Angela Hill in a 5-round fight, and it was a pretty close fight. Angela Hill was just, the bigger girl, and she entered the fight, but it was a very close fight. And Livia Souza, she is definitely, a smaller girl. She's, a 105, atom weight. But I think she's going to have a lot of success in the UFC, especially in the strawweight division. She's just too fast for all these girls, and she's, she's really strong. She's a finisher, man. She's a brawler. She likes to press you, get in your face, and has very good jiu-jitsu. And I don't think Alex Chambers is UFC material. The girl's like, what, 1-3, 1-4 in UFC. Her only win is Callan Curran, and Kieran's pretty terrible. And yeah, man, I just don't think Chambers has it anymore, man. She didn't look that good last fight against Nadia. Obviously, she took her down a couple of times, but Nadia's not that good either. Nadia pieced her up on the feet, and that's her whole game, man. She has decent grappling, but she has no striking. Yeah, she trains the American Top Team, but I don't think it's enough to beat a girl like Souza, who's, in my opinion, going to have a lot of success in this division. She's definitely going to be a top 10 girl, maybe even top 5. So I got Souza. I think she's going to finish her. I think she's too much for her on the feet. If it hits the mat, I mean, I think Souza could tap her out. I mean, Chambers has been tapped out 3 times, and yeah, she has pretty decent grappling, but even if she gets her down, dude, it's all Souza, man. So I got Souza, and the line is rightfully so. I mean, she's a huge favorite. I wish it would have been playable, like minus 300, but it's not. So yeah, my official pick is going to be Souza in the distance. So next up, we got a little change up. We got Zaleski versus the newcomer Luigi Vendramini. And initially, it was supposed to be a very good fight, between two really guys in the welterweight division. Bilal Muhammad versus Zaleski. I was actually picking Zaleski, but Bilal was alive. It was a pretty close fight. I was going back and forth. I was ultimately going to be picking Zaleski, but Bilal's no slouch. He's very good, and I thought he could have some success in that fight. But scrap. Now he got the newcomer who hasn't fought anybody. He fought a guy that I think said 6-2 his last fight, and yeah, man, this guy's making his debut against a top 15 guy. I mean, he's ranked 15, but he's a top 15 guy for sure. And Zaleski, he's a brawler. He's really big for the division. Has very good stand up. He likes to get in your face and pressure and just throw down. He has good takedown defense. He's been taken down in the past. Good jiu-jitsu and very good cardio. Very good chin too. I mean, this guy, you're not going to put this guy out. He has very good cardio. I mean, Max Griffin hurt this guy. Came back and beat him. Omari went out there and finished in the third round. The Strickland finish, I actually bet Strickland there. Strickland was looking good. He was jabbing him up in the first round, but then, got dropped with a spinning head kick or spinning wheel kick, and then, finished with ground and pound. And he's a good fighter, man, Zaleski. I mean, he really is, man. Like I just mentioned, he's very big for the division. He's a brawler, man. And I think he's way too much for this Luigi guy. Obviously, if I was picking, him against Bilal, I'm going to be picking him against a guy that's, making his debut and it's not that impressive. So we'll see what Luigi, does next. Maybe give him Craig White. Who knows? Craig White's probably retired or probably going to get cut. But yeah, I just think Zaleski's way too much. So I also got Zaleski in the distance here, and he's not playable. He's like what, -400? Yeah, pass him. So next fight, we got the toughest fight, one of the toughest fights to call on this fight card. We got Leites versus Hector Lombard, and Leites is retiring after this fight. Lombard should definitely retire as well. He's on like a 4 or 5 fight losing streak. Obviously, the last fight was a win, in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of people agree. He knocked out CB Dalloway, but they gave it a no contest, or they gave it CB a DQ win because he dropped him after the bell. But make no mistake about it, Lombard won that fight. He's a short guy for the division, but he's really strong. It's hard to take him down. He has power, but he has a bad chin. He has bad cardio. And a guy with Leites is on his way out. All these guys are on their way out. I mean, it could be their last. It's Leites' last fight. I think it's Lombard's last fight as well. I think Leites definitely has a grappling advantage here. I don't know if he's going to be able to take Lombard down because, like I mentioned, he's really hard to get down. He has, really thick legs. But I think he can definitely outstrike Lombard for 3 rounds. Obviously, Leites has the better chin. I think. I know, he took a beating last fight against Jack the Joker, and he quit that fight. I mean, he was beating Joker. He was beating Joker. He could have won that fight. Joker had an injury, but he found a way to lose that fight. And I mean, Joker's a good fighter, man. I just don't like Hector Lombard. I mean, the guy he's not good, man. I mean, he's, like I mentioned, on a terrible losing streak. He finds a way to lose, gasses, bad chin. But then again, Leites is also on the way out as well. His striking's definitely improved a lot, but I mean, he's the guy that wants to get you to the mat and tap you out. I think what's going to happen here is that it's going to be a very boring fight. I think he's going to kind of like the Hendricks Lombard fight, but I think he's going to outstrike Hector Lombard for 3 rounds and win a 29-28 decision. It could get hairy. I can see both guys getting dropped, but even though Leites quit last fight, I do think he has a better chin. I think he has a little more durability than Hector Lombard, and yeah, I think he's going to go out and right off on the sunset and get the win. Because most guys, when it's their last retirement fight, they lose. But I'm going to have to go with Leites. But I'm not betting this fight at all. I know he's a dog, but it's such a coin flip. I mean, this is one of those fights I want no part of at all. So my official pick is Leites by decision. So next up, we got my first play of the night. We got Mayra Bueno Silva versus Jillian Robertson. And I have, I believe, 2.5 units on Robertson. Let me check real quick. Let's see this. Yeah. So 2.5 units at a plus 100. And I think she's a really good fighter, man. She's definitely improved a lot since tough. She's a very good grappler, trains ATT under Den Thomas. And her striking obviously isn't the best. I do think it's better than Bueno Silva. She's technical out there, has a good jab. She likes to press you. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Robertson. She's going to try to take you down, tap you out. She's very good jiu-jitsu, very good grappling. Obviously, Silva has good jiu-jitsu too. She just went out there and, tapped a girl out of the contender series, a 38-year-old bum with like a pretty quick ninja choke in like 30 seconds. And yeah, you can say Roberson's fought some bums too, Emily Whitmire. And Molly, the meatball, McCann, the can. But I do think they're better than all the girls that the Brazilians fought. And if you watch tape on the Brazilian, dude, her striking is not good at all. Like I said, I don't think Roberson's striking is, good or legit, but it's definitely better. And I do think her striking is decent. I think her strike, like I mentioned, her striking is better. And Silva gets tagged, man, a lot. She's sloppy out there, man. She gets hit too much. And I think a girl like Roberson's going to be pushing the pace, getting in her face, and definitely jab her up. And she's more technical. I think she's going to hurt her on the feet. And I think she's going to, once this fight hits the mat, I think Roberson's, find a way on top like she always does. And I think she's going to land some heavy bombs and, tap her out, man. Even if Silva took her down, I don't think Silva's, going to be in a dominant position because, Roberson's very good off her back, too. But I think what's going to happen is that Roberson's going to find a takedown, and she's going to eventually find her back and get a submission. Roberson's just so crafty on the ground, and I think she's the better fighter here. And I have, a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of potential for a girl like Jillian Robertson, man. She's only going to get better. She's only getting better already. She's looked very good against Whitmire, looked very good against Molly the Meatball McCann. And like I mentioned, both these girls have good ground games, but I think what's going to do it is that Robertson has a better striking, and I think she's going to hurt her on the feet, and she's going to get to the mat. And I think she has a better jiu-jitsu, even though they both have good jiu-jitsu. But Robertson is better grappling, better wrestling. So I got her getting the win, and I think she's going to do it in the distance. So my official prediction is Jillian Robertson, the Canadian, by a second-round submission. It wouldn't surprise me if it was in the first round, to be honest. So next fight, we got the last fight of the prelims, or I'm sorry, the fight pass prelims. We got Sergio Moraes versus Kill B Ben Saunders. This is another very close fight. I've actually been going back and forth in this fight. Initially, I thought it was easy money for the Brazilian, but to be honest, he's not. He has a very good record, but he fights so close. Very close fights with Zach Otto. He did not beat Tim Means. Tim Means definitely won that fight. Yeah, he knocked out Omari, but Omari gasses, man. He has a pretty good chin, but the guy gasses. He's been finished twice in the third round. Vittori beat his ass in the third round. He's a gasser, man. And Kill B has good cardio. Kill B, definitely I think has pretty good striking. I don't know. I guess Sergio might have a little more output on the feet, but who has more power? I guess Saunders. It's one of those weird fights because I think Saunders is better in the clinch. He has better knees. If Saunders gets him against the fence, Saunders could definitely, hurt Morais. But I think out in the open, I think Morais might be more technical. He definitely has maybe better boxing. Both these guys have good jiu-jitsu. Obviously, Saunders has that, that rubber guard game. And I don't think he has better jiu-jitsu than a guy like Morais. Morais has very good jiu-jitsu. I don't think Morais going to be able to take him down. I think it's going to be on the feet, and I think it'd be a close striking contest. I don't think he can knock out Killer B. Morais doesn't have the best chin either, but he definitely has a better chin. But I think it's going to be a close fight. It's going to be back and forth fights in Brazil. So, but yeah, I got Morais. I think he's going to get a 29-28, a split, actually, to be honest. And Kill B is live. He has a chance to win this fight, but I'm not touching it. So I got Sergio Morais. I think he's going to, outwork him and box him up. But Killer B in that clinch, like you just saw against Jake Ellenberg, he's good in that clinch. So I got Sergio Morais with the split decision win. So next fight we got, oh my God, it's a jobber fight right here, guys. We got Augusto Sakai versus Chase Sherman. And this is another weird fight. Obviously, the line's off. Sherman should not be a plus 200 against his bum. Sakai's, he's not that good. I know he only has one loss against Congo, but if you watch tape on him, he's slow. He doesn't have the best striking. Yeah, he got to win in his contender series. Nice TKO in the second round against a guy that's terrible, in my opinion. Chase Sherman hasn't looked good, though. He won the third round against Justin Willis, but, Shamil knocked him out. He has good leg kicks, for sure. He's a tough guy, good cardio, but he just gets hit too much, man, for me. And, that's his terrible defense. His chinny as well. And I think Sakai is going to find a way to I don't know if he finishes him, but I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win at least 2 rounds, and I think he's going to outstrike him. I think he could definitely take Chase Sherman down as well. So I got I got Sakai by a late finish, but I'm not confident in that pick at all. Chase Sherman's definitely live and has a chance, but I'll be picking the Brazilian. So next fight, we got Luis Henrique versus Ryan Spann, and we got Henrique who's dropping down to 205. He has not looked that good recently. He lost to Arjun, Bueller. That was a pretty close fight, but Arjun definitely outstruck him and took him down, won that fight. It was a boring fight, by the way. Then Tybura went out there and made him quit in that third round. Enrique is hittable, man. He's definitely a chinny guy, But you can say the same thing about Ryan Spann. You know, both these guys are going to be big guys. Ryan Spann's huge, man, for the weight class. He's been knocked out twice. He has the chin on him. I mean, he's a tough guy, man. He is chinny, but I mean, he is pretty durable sometimes as well. He's not been knocked out against Carl Robertson, but you saw the Nicholson fight. Nicholson almost killed him, and he came back and knocked out Nicholson, but Nicholson's pretty bad. I think this is a weird, one of those weird matchups where, both guys have good ground games. On the feet, I think Ryan Spann has the better striking. I think he's more technical. Enrique has power for sure, but Henrique is going to try to get him down, and I think both these guys have good ground games, kind of like Robertson versus Silva. So it's going to get really interesting. But I think that Ryan Spann has the better grappling. I think he has a better jiu-jitsu. I know Enrique has good jiu-jitsu too, but Ryan Spann has a good submission game, man, and he's going to go out there and get the submission win here, man. So one of those close fights as well, man. But I just think Ryan Spann has a little more in him in this fight, and Enrique hasn't been looking that good, and I just I don't like what I've been seeing from him, man. And both these guys are chinny, like I just mentioned, but I think Ryan Spann has a little more heart out there, and I think he's a little more tactical on the feet. And if this hits the mat, I think it's going to be him taking him down, and I just see him getting the win. So I got Ryan Spann with the submission win, but not a confident pick. I won't be playing it. So next fight, we got Francisco Trinaldo versus Evan Dunham, and this is a good fight. I got Trinaldo here. I think he's going to go out there and win a decision. I don't think he's going to finish Dunham. I know Dunham's been finished, his last fight against Owen with a brutal body kick, and then the fight before that took a beating against Benio Dariush. I mean, Benny 10-8 the first round, blew his wad, and then Dunham came back and forced a draw. Dunham, I like Dunham, man. He's a very, underrated fighter. He's, a tough guy. He has a good chin. He's been finished a couple times. Cowboy tapped him out, and then Edson Barbosa hurt him in the body. He's weak to the body, and then OA when he hurt him in the body. Dunham's retiring, so this is his last fight. He had a very good run before, his losing streak. Well, I guess the draw and then the OA, but the last two fights were, two fights that he took so much damage in, and Trinaldo's definitely, old as well. Both these guys, you can say both these guys are on their way out, but I think Trinaldo has more in the tank. Trinaldo's definitely the better striker. I think he's going to pressure Dunham. And I think he can hurt him in the clinch. I think he could definitely hurt him in the body because Trinaldo has very good body work, very good kicks of the body. And the thing is with Trinaldo is he loses when he gets taken down. So, his fight with Jamiller actually took him down the first round, won the first. But then Trinaldo won the last two rounds. He gasses some fights, Trinaldo, but, a guy like Dunham, this last fight and not that much left in the tank, took a huge beating against Benny, and then the OAM just smoked him last fight. I think Trinaldo's going to be too much. I think Trinaldo's going to go out there and win a dominant decision here. But I do think Dunham could get a takedown or two in the first round, but I still think it's not going to be enough. I just think on the feet, even though Dunham has good hands, I just don't think he has it anymore. So I got Trinaldo with the win. But you can't count out a guy like Dunham. But, just the fact that he's retiring, I don't like it. So next fight, we got Charles Oliveira against Christos Giagos. And the definition of Oliveira is sub or bust. He's definitely a really inconsistent fighter. Fighting at 145, fighting at 155. I think he should stay at 155. He's definitely bigger at 155 and 145. He's maybe a big guy for the weight class, but he misses way too much. Doesn't look that good. Pretty drawn out. And there's another close fight. I do think that on the feet, Oliveira has good pressure. He has a good jab. He has good striking, good kicks. He definitely gasses in fights. And a guy like, Giagos is making his return in the UFC. He has good striking as well. He's more technical. I think he's a better striker than Oliveira. But the thing is, Oliveira is, you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to try to take you down, tap you out. And a guy like Giagos has been tapped out 3 or 4 times. And he's been taking his back, he gets back taken a lot. He has looked good in the regional scene, He's beaten some good Russians, One of the fights was a split that I think he won, but he lost. Gilbert Burns tapped him out. Like I mentioned, he's been tapped out 3 or 4 times. Oliveira went out there and, rocked Guido on the feet, and then Guido went for a takedown, and it was over. He tapped him out. He had Paul Felder in trouble before, Felder. Actually, the first round, Oliveira won the first round. Yeah, he took him down, had him in trouble in the second round. Felder just, took it to him, landed some good shots, and then it was over. It's a close fight, but I'm going to have to go with the Brazilian here. I think Oliveira's going to go out there and tap him out. But if he can't get the takedown here, I think it's going to be, a hairy fight because Giagos could definitely mess him up on the feet. And, even if Giagos loses this fight, which I think he will, he's going to be back. He's not bad. But I got Olivera, and Olivera will be faded soon. I'll tell you that right now because I hope he gets matched up with someone like David Tamer because let's just say that's the easiest money. So for Tamer. So next fight, we got the first fight of the main card. We got Ronda Markos versus Marina Rodriguez. Yeah, I didn't really take this fight that much. I'll tell you guys right now. I do think that Markos is going to get the win. I think that she's better everywhere, in my opinion. I know she dropped the ball in a lot of her fights, but I don't think she's a jobber, dude. She's a tough girl, good grappling. Her striking, is not the best, but I mean, she's a tough girl to look good against. And Rodriguez is making her debut. I don't think she's that good from the tape I've watched. She doesn't look that impressive. So I got to go with Markos getting the decision win in Brazil. There. So next fight, we got my second play of the night. We got Renan, the Ghost of Barao, Henan versus Andre Ewell. And this is a good fight, man. A lot of people out there are, counting my boy Andre out, saying that he's not ready for a guy like Barao and all this. But, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have 3 units on Andre plus 105. It was funny because he actually opened like a 250, and he was there for like 10 seconds. I mean, if I would have, been on that, I would have got that 250. But, I mean, I wasn't. I was watching football, and yeah, but I'm so confident. I'm not confident, but I'm confident that I still like, plus 105. And yeah, man, I just think it's a bad matchup for a guy like Barao. I mean, Barao hasn't looked good, in a long time. He's like 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Yeah, he's faced, top 15 guys, but the thing is, he doesn't have anymore, man. He really doesn't. If you see the tape on Andre, he's 8-1 in his last 9 fights. He's a very good striker. Shout out to my boy MMA Prediction Guru because he's the one who actually told me about this maybe a month ago. Hey, you should watch tape on Andre. And yeah, man, Andre, dude, is an explosive striker. It's funny because before this fight, I was, talking about how Kelleher beat Barao's ass and all that, which he did. And then, I've been thinking about Andre, versus Kelleher, and I was like, wow, dude, Andre could definitely beat Brian Kelleher in my opinion. Andre's just so explosive out there, man. On the feet, he has very good striking, very good left hand, good right hand. He's in and out, good movement. He's a big dude for 135. And Barao's style, man, he's going to try to, strike with him in the feet, and I think he's going to get blown out of the water, man. I mean, I feel like Barao has to get this fight to the mat to win this fight. And I just haven't seen Barao's grappling, man. And I don't think he has it. He just, we haven't seen it. And even if he gets him down, I think Ewell can get back up. I just like Andre, man, on the feet here, and I think he's going to knock him out. I really do. Morales took so much damage against Kelleher last fight. And, yeah, Kelleher's a good fighter, man, but, I mean, Andre's, a fast dude, man, and he's super explosive out there, and he's too athletic, I feel like, for Barao. I know Barao, he shouldn't be fighting at 135 anymore. I just think he's done. I don't think he has it anymore. I really don't, man. And it's not like I would pick or bet anybody versus Barao, but, I mean, this kid is no slouch. He's really good, and I think he's going to have a good UFC career. He definitely has some holes in his game. He needs to work on his takedown defense and his ground game, but I don't think that it's enough for Barao to exploit. I think Barao's going to go out there and try to strike with him, and I think that Andre's going to touch him up, man, and really hurt him on the feet. And I got Andre by a knockout here. I know Barao's a very good chin, but all that punishment he's been taking is going to catch up, and TJ, changed his life, man, that second fight. He has not looked the same. Kelleher just won every round in that fight. Yeah, he had, I wouldn't say moments. I mean, he threw, he had some volume in that fight, but I mean, Kelleher won every round. And Andre's, a more powerful guy than Kelleher for sure. And he hits harder. Kelleher had a good movement. He was pressuring the fight, but I mean, Andre's going to be in his face as well, but he's in and out. And Andre's, he's going to strike with Barao, and Barao's going to just, get fucked up, man. So I got Andre. I got him by a knockout, and I know a lot of people are probably going to think that, Barao hasn't been finishing a very long time, but it's all catching up to him, man. I got Andre by a knockout. I'm going to go in the first round here. So next fight, we got Little Nog versus Sam Alvey, and yeah, this is a weird fight. I mean, there's definitely 4 or 5 fights in this card that are just not the best fights in my opinion. I mean, they're close fights. I mean, they can go either way. But yeah, I'll go with Sam Alvey to get the win. I think that he has very good counter striking. He doesn't throw that much, obviously, but I think Little Nog could definitely be pressuring him and getting hurt. He doesn't have the best chin. Alvey has a good chin. I can see Little Nog throwing a little more, obviously for sure. So it could get hairy if it goes for the scorecards, which it might. But I think what's going to happen is that Alvey's going to catch that chin and knock him out. So I got Alvey with the win. And that's it. One more thing I want to mention about I put in my notes, I forgot to mention about Andre, is that he's a very good uppercut, man. I didn't mention that, and that's definitely one of his best, assets in my opinion. And I just think, like I already mentioned, but I think Barao's gonna, get knocked out here. But yeah, ultimate pick is Sam Alvey. So next fight we got Alex Cowboy Oliveira versus Carlo Pedersoli. And this is a good fight. It's supposed to be Cowboy versus Magny, but now Carlo took it on short notice. And I like Carlo, man. I have him here 2.5 or 2 units. I'm sorry, at plus 280. And I think he's a good fighter. He went out there and beat Nicholas Dalby in Cage Warriors. He won, the first 2 rounds, lost the third, and then he went out there and beat Brad Scott. And I mean, Brad Scott, when the first round was close, he dropped him, but I mean, Pedersoli got back up. He's really durable. And then I just took it to him in those last 2 rounds. I mean, Pedersoli has very good volume. He's a very good striker. He's more technical than Cowboy. Very good kicks, good right hand, good left hand, good jab. And he likes to fight from the outside. And good head kicks, man. Cowboy, man, he's a good fighter, man. He's a brawler. He likes to go out there and, get physical with you, get you against the clinch, take you down. And he's a good fighter for sure, but I mean, he's definitely, taking a lot of damage, especially against Yancey. He's beaten some good guys. He knocked out Ryan LaFleur. He knocked out Tim Means, or I'm sorry, tapped him out the first fight he actually lost, but that was the whole no contest thing. But then, the fight with Yancey, I mean, it was a back and forth fight. I mean, he got dropped multiple times, and Yancey broke him, man. He broke his nose, and he quit in that fight. He really quit in that third round. And then against Condit, he needs to go out there and smoke a guy like Carlos Condit, who's on his way out on the decline, all this. And that was a hairy fight. Condit took his back. Condit took him down. Cowboy did not look that good in that fight, man. And a guy with Carlo Pedersoli, I mean, I know he's, a new to the UFC. He's only 1-0, beats a former middleweight, Brad Scott. Obviously, Cowboy's fought in better competition. He's beaten better competition, but I think Pedersoli is better on the feet. I think he has the more volume. I think he's the more cleaner and technical striker. On the ground, Cowboy's better in the clinch for sure. Both these guys have good chins for sure, but Cowboy's taking a lot more damage in my opinion. Both have decent gas tanks. Carlo does gas in some fights, but I mean, he has heart for days. Cowboy gasses as well. And Carlo Pedersoli, man, I mean, he has good wrestling too, good grappling. He has good jiu-jitsu. Obviously wins by sub. Cowboy's been tapped out 3 or 4 times. I honestly think what's going to happen, he's going to hurt Cowboy in the feet. He's going to hit the mat. He's going to tap him out. He's been tapped out 3 or 4 times, man. I mean, that's a fact. And, Cowboy's a big dude, man. I could definitely see him, getting him down and kind of grinding him out a little bit. But I just think Carlo Pedersoli, man, is going to get the upset here, man. I think he's live. I think he's going to get the win. And I think he's going to hurt him on the feet, and it's going to hit the mat, and he's going to tap him out. So I got the dog here, Carlo Pedersoli. Next fight, we got my last play tonight. We got the main event. We got Thiago Santos versus Eric Andrews. Originally, it was Thiago Santos versus Jimmy Manuwa, and I was actually picking Thiago Santos to get the knockout there. But now it's a different fight, and I actually have an underdog play on Eric Andrews at plus 130, 2.5 units. And yeah, I know Andrews did not look the best against Tim Williams, but I think it's a different matchup here. Obviously, Santos is a better fighter than Tim Williams, but he looked a little too hesitant out there. Williams won the first, second round, Andrews won, third round, Andrews winning, and then knocking out that head kick. And then before that, he lost to Machida, which I think he won. Personally, I just think this is a good matchup for Eric Andrews because Andrews is going to be going forward, and he definitely has the better hands than Thiago Santos. Santos is not getting back up against the fence. I mean, look what happened against David Branch, knocked him out, I mean, brutally. He's been knocked out 3 times, Santos. I mean, he's definitely a chinny guy, Kevin Holland hurt him in that fight, but I mean, he went up there and, big brother Kevin Holland. But like I mentioned, Santos is known, I'm sorry, but Andrews is known for his left hand. I mean, he's going to be in his face. I think he's going to back him against the fence and knock him out in the first round. I think Andrews is smart. He's not going to go out there and let Santos do distance because that's how Santos wins his fight. He uses distance and he uses head kicks. He has very good kicks to the body, head kicks. But Andrews is smart. Andrews is going to be pressuring. That's his game. That's his style anyways, And I don't think he's going to go 5 rounds, but I mean, Andrews is a pretty good cardio for sure. He does gas, but I mean, he's been 5 rounds twice. Santos has never been 5 rounds. And I don't think he's going to hit 5 rounds, but I just think that Andrews has the better hands. He has the more pressure. I think he's going to get in his face. And once that left hand connects to that Santos shin, I think it's a good night, Irene, man. Both these guys fighting at 205. Anders hits super hard. He's definitely one of the heaviest hitters in the division. Santos is too, but Santos isn't much of a striker. I'm sorry, much of a a boxer. He likes to use distance, and that's not what Anders is going to do. He's going to pressure him and get in his face, and he's going to knock him out with that left hand. So I got Eric Anders, and we'll see what happens next. He might fight, Elias. We'll see what happens, but I got Eric Anders with the knockout here. So, all right, guys, my 4 plays are Eric Anders, Carl Pedersoli, Robertson, and then Andre Ewell. Let me know in the comments below who you guys got in every fight, and let's get it, man. The next card we got, McGregor versus Khabib. What a fight! What a card! Tony versus Pettis. Yeah, Ferguson's gonna absolutely destroy Pettis, but yeah, and Connor's gonna beat Khabib. But I'll talk to you guys later. Later, guys.